What's going on, guys? Commentary video for you today, or I should say tonight. It's a few minutes before midnight, Monday the 20th of October, and Michaela and I need to be up at 4 a.m. tomorrow to get ready to head to the airport and fly to the Philippines. So less than ideal circumstances for recording a voiceover, but I really wanted to get this out before we head off, because I don't know if and when I'll be able to do another video. What you're watching here is my torso B session from last week, so chest, back and delts. And what I wanted to do is just talk about something that I don't think gets discussed enough in bodybuilding, and that is perspective. Because I think a lot of us, myself included, we tend to romanticize our best performances. That one perfect session that we had, or that, say, 1 week where everything just somehow clicked, where you felt strong, you might have looked your best, you might have slept fantastic, and perhaps nailed every meal. And then it's quite easy for us to start believing that that is our baseline, that that's who we are now. But the truth is, that's not really how this works. Your best day isn't the standard, rather it's the ceiling of what's possible. It's a glimpse of what is doable when everything aligns, when recovery, stress, sleep, digestion, and focus all sync up perfectly. It's easy to hold yourself to that version of you, right? To expect yourself to perform at that level every single time you step in the gym. But if you do that, and I'm speaking from personal experience, you're going to drive yourself stir crazy, because nobody, no matter how advanced they are, can live at their best 24/7. The same goes for the other side of it too. Your worst days don't define you either. That flat, tired, off-plan, low energy version of yourself where you feel depressed, just all is lost, that's not who you are either. That's just perhaps where you are in that moment. If you're injured, recovering, stressed, or simply coming off of the back end of a bad contest prep, that's not your new normal. That's just part of the process. And that process is what's supposed to bring your average level higher. Because that's what you really are. That's what I really am at the end of the day. Not our best performance, nor our worst, but rather the sum of our consistency. What we can do repeatedly, what we can sustain. That's the true measure of progress in this sport and in any sport. Now, when I look back on my own journey, my proudest achievements aren't single lifts or single days in the week, but the fact that my baseline, my average self, has continued to improve year after year. What used to be, say, my peak is now my norm, if that makes sense. And not right now, obviously. In reference to prior to the heart situation. Every single year, I was bettering myself, and that standard was slowly being elevated. That bar was being risen. Now, that's how you're certain that you're progressing, when your normal has evolved. And that only happens when you zoom out and stop judging yourself off isolated performances or single days. This mindset helps me massively with training days like this one, for example, where some sets today felt incredible. Everything clicked and the mind to muscle connection was perfect. But a few others felt off, and maybe a small technical error was the reason for that, or a bit of fatigue from the week prior. Maybe I didn't brace as well as I could have, but that's fine at the end of the day. because the goal isn't to make every single set flawless. It's to make the average of your work better over time. The more you can raise that baseline, your ability to show up, to execute, and to then subsequently recover, the higher your ceiling becomes too over time. And that's what it really is to me. It's all about refining your normal, per se, turning what once was something that required effort and your uninterrupted focus into something that just happens naturally, almost kind of like muscle memory. And the only way you do that is by staying consistent through both the highs and the lows. So if you're watching this and you're frustrated with a bad week perhaps, or you missed a lift, you didn't hit a PR, or your body is just not looking the way you want it to, what I really want you to do is just take a step back, zoom out, look at the broader picture and ask yourself, what does my consistency look like? Because if that's improving, if your average or your baseline is better than it was, say, 6 months ago, then you're winning. So stop chasing your best day over and over again. Start improving your everyday instead. The goal isn't to have more perfect moments. It's to make the imperfect ones count, if that makes sense. To lift, to eat, sleep, and recover well enough that even your off days still move you forward in a way. That's what defines longevity in anything in life, especially in this sport. And it's what separates people who just train hard from those who truly evolve over time, I guess. So yeah, keep pushing your limits, but remember, your best day doesn't define you, your consistency does. So raise the floor, so to speak, and then the ceiling will also follow. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.